A calls for corrupt Trump to be impeached as House Oversight Committee probes military spending at his money-losing Scottish Gulf resort where Air Force guards stayed overnight on their way to KuwaitAlexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted Friday, "The president is corrupt and must be impeached," as Democrats Rashida Tlaib and Pete Buttigieg also slammed Trump. The House Committee has asked the Pentagon for all its files on the military's spending both at Prestwick and Trump's hotel in Scotland as part of the probe. U.S. military has stopped at Prestwick Airport, the closest to Turnberry, Trump's luxury golf resort, 629 times since October 2017. The total cost of all those refueling stops is $11 million and is substantially more than was spent there before Trump took office in the spring. 5 U.S. Air Force guards stayed overnight at Turnberry during a routine mission to deliver supplies to Kuwait. Turnberry is 20 miles from the airport and considerably more expensive than alternatives which are closer. Turnberry food was so expensive Air Guardsmen's daily allowances didn't cover. In June, AOC tweeted, "An impeachment inquiry is exactly what we must do when the president obstructs justice, advises witnesses to ignore legal subpoenas." By Leah Simpson for DailyMail.com and Jennifer Smith for DailyMail.com. Published, 2310 BST, September 7, 2019, updated, 023 BST, September 8, 2019. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez again called for President Trump's impeachment Friday after it was revealed the House Oversight Committee is investigating whether he has been bolstering his luxury golf resort in Scotland with Defense Department money. After learning that the military spent $11 million on refueling at its closest airport and Air Force guards spent the night there during a routine mission to the Middle East, an investigation began in April, Politico reported. It prompted the freshman congresswoman from Queens to continue urging articles of impeachment against the president. AOC tweeted Friday, "The president is corrupt and must be impeached." Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted Friday that President Trump is corrupt and must be impeached. Firebrand Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called for Trump to be impeached on Twitter at $163 a night on average. The hotel is considerably more expensive than the many alternatives that are closer to Prestwick Airport, where the Air Force guards refueled. It's not the first time Ocasio-Cortez has tweeted that he should be impeached. In June she posted, "Mr. President, you're from Queens. You may fool the rest of the country, but I'll call your bluff any day of the week. Opening an impeachment inquiry is exactly what we must do when the president obstructs justice, advises witnesses to ignore illegal subpoenas, and more." It was in response to Trump's claim that Democrats play the impeach card because they believe he'll get a second term as president. Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. "I think we have a very real risk of losing the presidency to Donald Trump. I agree, and that is the only reason they play the impeach card, which cannot be legally used," Trump tweeted at the time. On Friday, AOC also retweeted a comment from Rashida Tlaib, the congresswoman representing Michigan's 13th district, after the Oversight Committee revealed they are investigating the vice president's stay at the Trump International Golf Links and Hotel in Doonbeg, Ireland, 180 miles away from his official meetings with Irish officials in Dublin. Tlaib called for Trump's impeachment. "This is exactly why the emoluments clause in the United States Constitution exists. #impeachment inquiry now," Tlaib tweeted. President Trump at Turnberry, his luxury golf resort in Scotland, in June 2016. The House Oversight Committee is investigating military spending at the resort and at the closest airport. On Friday, AOC also retweeted a comment from Rashida Tlaib, the congresswoman representing Michigan's 13th district. It's not the first time Ocasio-Cortez has tweeted that he should be impeached. She also suggested it in June. Since October 2017, the Defense Department has logged 629 requests for fuel purchases at Prestwick Airport, the tiny airport which is closest to Turnberry, Trump's money-losing resort. In total, the purchases cost $11 million, and it marks a substantial increase in the amount U.S. military has spent at the airport since Trump took office. In previous years, it is reported, they would stop at air bases in Europe, where the fuel is cheaper. The team could have stopped at Lakenheath Air Base, the U.S. Air Force's in Europe's only F-15 fighter wing, which is 380 miles away. Coupled with the fuel purchases is an overnight stay at Turnberry in spring when 5 Air Force guards spent the night there on their way to Kuwait. The resort is 20 miles from the airport, where the 5-man team from the 176th Maintenance Squadron refueled. At around $160 a night, The five-star hotel is also considerably more expensive than the dozens of alternatives which are both closer to the airport and independent from the Trump family. The cover of the letter that was sent to the Pentagon in June demanding answers about the trip and the military's spending in Scotland. According to senior Democrats who spoke anonymously to Politico about the probe, the Air Force guards were shocked by the extravagant choice in hotel. Typically, military bosses opt for cheaper options like Marriott or Hilton. Turnberry is so much more luxurious than their normal overnight stops that the troops' daily allowance for meals was not enough to cover food at the resort. It remains unclear how much the military paid for the rooms the 5 military personnel stayed in and, according to Politico, the Pentagon has ignored requests for the information. The Defense Department has not produced a single document in this investigation. The committee will be forced to consider alternative steps if the Pentagon does not begin complying voluntarily in the coming days, said one Democrat. Prestwick Airport in Glasgow is a tiny airport that happens to be the closest one to Turnberry. It is a small operation and is losing money, so much so that it is now being sold off by the Scottish government. Despite its problems, the U.S. military has spent $11 million refueling there since October 2017, and the House Committee says it is substantially more than was spent before Trump took office. The hotel is more than 300 miles from Laken Heath Air Base, where the U.S. Air Force has a presence. The committee's concern is compounded by the fact that despite Prestwick Airport losing money since 2013 and now being sold by the Scottish government, the amount of money the U.S. military is spending there has increased. Despite Prestwick Airport's struggling operations, U.S. military expenditure at the airport appears to have increased substantially since the election, wrote Chairman Elijah Cummings and Jamie Raskin in a June request to the Pentagon for information. Prestwick Airport has also offered discounted rooms at Turnberry to commercial airline crew and passengers and has touted free rounds of golf to U.S. veterans. The committee chairman said in their letter that the scenario points to a major conflict in interest. Given the president's continued financial stake in his Scotland golf courses, these reports raise questions about his potential receipt of U.S. or foreign government emoluments in violation of the U.S. Constitution and raise other serious conflict of interest concerns, they said. Trump bought Turnberry in 2014 for close to $44 million. He made the transaction under the company Golf Recreation Scotland and took out $146 million in loans from Trump's personal trust in New York to pay for them. When he took office, the president signed over ownership of the Trump Organization to his family. Part of the Trump Organization is Trump Hotels, which Turnberry belongs to. The Trump Organization did not immediately respond to DailyMail.com's inquiry on Saturday afternoon. Let's block ads. Why?